Hello, I am Emily Watts, Domiciliary Care Policy Lead at QCS. Throughout August, we have continued to see developments relating to the government's COVID-19 guidance, and our policies and resources have been updated to reflect these changes. Some of the key updates that have taken place over the last month include self-isolation exemptions. The leaders across England, Wales and Scotland have all announced in some form a move away from self-isolation for close contacts of someone with COVID-19. The guidelines and criteria that the health and social care sector are required to meet to allow staff to leave self-isolation have been added to the relevant coronavirus policies and procedures on our system. Our COVID-19 testing policy and procedure also touches on the self-isolation exemption process and the need to undertake regular testing where self-isolation is no longer necessary. The visiting out of care homes policy and procedure has been updated following changes in relation to the isolation of residents, as well as any national guideline updates that may have taken place as lockdown restrictions are lifted. The reopening to visitors during COVID-19 policy and procedure has also been reviewed to ensure it remains in line with current guidelines as we move further out of the lockdown process to a more normal way of life. All the necessary COVID-19 risk assessment updates have also taken place. We will of course continue to update our resources and policies as guidelines change for the sector. Following all the recent COVID-19 changes, we have chosen the coronavirus policy and procedure as this month's policy of the month. This is an overarching policy providing an overview of key aspects of the coronavirus pandemic, such as infection control practices, waste disposal, safe staffing and isolation requirements. It has been updated to reflect the new self-isolation exemptions that have come into force across the UK over the last month and should be read in conjunction with other COVID-19 policies and procedures within the QCS management system. Some further content highlights from this month include: following the approval of staff vaccinations against COVID-19 becoming mandatory for care home staff in England later this year, we have published a response from our HR specialist NAPMANS on what this means for employers and what to do should someone refuse the vaccine. This can be found in the Resource Centre. Further supporting documentation will be provided over the coming months as we gain more clarity and direction from the government and move closer to the implementation date. We will also be looking out for any further developments in the rest of the health and social care sector across all regions, and will be interested to hear from you around this subject area and how you might be preparing for the changes. Please do reach out via our Facebook page where you can. As we continue to enjoy some lovely weather and high temperatures, a heatwave fact sheet is available on the system to support with understanding the risks associated with a heatwave and what signs to look out for should someone be affected by a heatwave. The fact sheet also includes some useful tips on ways to reduce the effects of a heatwave on those that might be adversely affected. Reference to COVID-19 and the menopause have also been included, as people suffering with these conditions can be affected further by heatwave conditions. A selection of resources are available on the system to support with a move from the deprivation of liberty safeguards towards the liberty protection safeguards, which is due to take place next year. A manager's guide to the key changes, as well as a blog, are available to support with your understanding in this area where it affects your service. You can also listen to a recent webinar which was conducted on the 12th of August between Liz Jones, Policy Director at NCF, and Ed Watkinson, a Regulatory Inspector, discussing the background to the upcoming changes and how to prepare for them. We will of course continue to update our resources as we approach the transition deadline. That is all for this month's highlights. Do keep logging onto your system for updates, and please let us know what you think of any of our content via our Facebook groups.